So today I wanted to tell you something a bit, I'm a little nervous. Is that alright that I am? And I haven't said anything, so that doesn't really tell you much. I'm just going to say it, really, because I wanted to propose this to you, so that you felt that I am asking at the right time, really. Is that? I hope that makes sense. I'll just say it. Sleep with me tonight. I've really gotten to know you, not very long, but it's felt like I've known you already, and I really feel that. I genuinely feel that I know you, and I do feel that you feel this way too. I sense this from you, and I sense that you'd like to take things further. Perhaps you've thought about this as well. I've certainly thought about being with you more physically, not necessarily in an intimate capacity, but intimacy in a way that you might actually appreciate. So I certainly think that we could just be in bed together, touching our skin, really. Not anything further than that. It doesn't need to be anything further than that, but I really wanted to see whether you wanted to do that. I just want to make sure you're comfortable, because I see you as, I don't know whether this will put you off or not, but I think that you're like a best friend. And I don't mean like a platonic friend. I mean like the kind of best friend that you want to move further with, be with, and get to know. I've been thinking about you for a while now, and I really wanted to bring this up at the right time when it came to actually getting things moving along further with us, and I just feel I would like this. I like you, and I like how you are, and I like how you generally are every day. You know, when I look at you, I see layers underneath you, the layers that you don't show other people. And these layers are things I appreciate. They're subtly different, each and every layer of you. And I would very much love to peel those layers with no tools necessary. Just with your permission to peel those layers. Perhaps you have your own tools, figuratively speaking, and we can peel your layers together. And no, I don't mean clothes. I mean your personality underneath you, the thoughts underneath you, the things you think about every day, the things that weigh on your mind, and what you want out of life, the fulfillment, you want the personal fulfillment you think about that weighs you down. I know that you've wanted to share these kind of things with me, and maybe you've been afraid because these thoughts in your mind don't necessarily make you feel too great when it comes to not achieving the things you wanted to achieve, or you haven't pushed yourself enough to achieve the things you really do want. And I know there's a conflict within you where you want to push yourself, but you also don't necessarily want to make that move for fear of the unknown, not necessarily failure. Perhaps there is some level of this, but it's not actually the kind of failure that you think is standard. I don't know if I'm saying this correctly. What I mean is something inside you is holding you back, and I would love to be able to push you along. Not necessarily push you along, I don't want to say that either. I just want to be by your side, and I want to be a force for good, a positive, optimistic force, and not necessarily the pessimistic energy that's been pulling you down in your mind. You know, I had many options in life when it came to people I came across, and I didn't necessarily want to move with them, but there were choices for me to be able to take that step forward or take a step back, and always I ended up feeling like I would want to take a step back. And that was okay in retrospect when I thought about it, because I saw you, I came across you in life, and I immediately thought that I don't regret the things that happened or the people that I chose not to be with. I chose you for a reason. I choose you for a reason, and I choose you now. And I'm glad that the past choices I made were such that I did not choose the other people. I'm glad I didn't choose those people, and I'm glad I made the choices I made to find you. I wasn't searching for you, but I found you without searching. I came across you as though you were a dream I stumbled upon. And I am not meaning that to sound dramatic. I mean it quite genuinely. You are a dream to me. You are life, meant worth living. You are the very idea of keeping oneself going. You provide me energy, you provide me positivity, just by being you, just by being the way you are. I love that about you. I love that you have this nature to you that makes me feel that way, and you've always made me feel that way from the start. I'd like to reciprocate that as best as I can. And I want you to feel the care you've shown me, the careful care, the feeling of being received, the feeling of communicating in a way that is actually communicating. And even when we aren't necessarily communicating, it feels like we are. I can be with you in silence, and we don't need to talk necessarily. And yet I feel perfect. I feel things are perfect. And I love that feeling. I get to appreciate every day with you and enjoy every day with you. And every day is a mystery. Even the things I'm afraid of doing, I like the idea of doing them with you, pushing myself with you. There are times, I admit, that I don't feel like doing things. I don't feel like doing a particular thing, but I know you want to do them, so I make a point to actually do them and muster up the courage to go venture onward and go on this particular journey you've chosen for us to go on. So you push me to try new things, and I like that. Sometimes I don't want to do things, and there will be days like that, and you understand that, and you appreciate or acknowledge that I would like to be that way, be not sedentary, but something along those lines, and just relax with you or alone. I know that you personally like to be alone sometimes, and we have our moments away from each other, but then you find your way back to me and peer into my little cloistered room, and it's sweet to look at you looking at me through a closed little slit of a window, or a door, I mean. Feels like a window, though. I peer through a window into your life, and you peer into a window into my life. The private lives that we have meld together. Is that the right word? I have a question. I know this won't be a great question, but I still want to ask you, do you like being with me? I know you do. I just sometimes like to make sure. I don't know, I feel like I'm a bit insecure with these things. I do, obviously, I know you like being with me, but I like to ask, just to make sure. As I love to know how you're feeling exactly, and I love to know your thoughts. So anytime you're feeling a certain way, maybe you don't like the way I'm acting, tell me. Let me know so that I can improve and I'll write it in a calendar. Now that we have these devices that we can use for plotting specific bits of information that we can remember on our phones, like how I could keep things in mind. I can do that. Actually, I have already. Just thought I'd let you know. I've written down quite a few things that I can improve on when it comes to the way I express myself at times that might not be received as positively by you or received as well by you. So I write these things so I can remember, not so I can remember, but so I can read them and acknowledge your feelings and be able to improve for you. Why don't I tell you a specific thing I wrote the other day? So I felt there was a day I wasn't as patient as I could have been. I know I am patient. You have told me that that is one of my greatest traits, but I do think that I could be more patient at times when I want to get something from you, and maybe that's having you communicate clearly, and it's fine for people to take time. You know, I've learnt to understand that it's perfectly fine to learn things in one's own time and not actually be thinking that there is a deadline for knowing something. So lately I've thought about this every day when we have something to do and we have an errand to run, or a few errands. I know you've had a tendency to pile up errands in one day, which is perfectly valid and proper. I just it can get tiring for me, and so because of that I get nervous, and when I get nervous I can maybe get a little impatient. Again, not something that can be easily perceived by you. Perhaps you don't notice it, but I notice it in my heart, if that makes some sense. In my body, I feel that ache. Not ache. It's just something I don't need in me. Not a spark. What's the word? Maybe I'll say an electrical signal, to be scientific for no apparent reason, but to actually use a word that might be applicable and proper. So, yeah, I would like to be with you tonight, and I think we should sleep now. I'm tired, you're tired, and maybe we could join hands, if you will. What do you say?